A very good morning, all of you. Today we are going to deal with Mars in the Seventh House by R.K. Narayan. I hope all of you know R.K. Narayan well. Most of you might have read some of the books of R.K. Narayan. In the introduction class itself, we have discussed about R.K. Narayan and we said that he belongs to one of the trios of Indian writing in English. Anyway, let's see more about him and his work, Mars in the Seventh House. Here is the picture of R.K. Narayan. He is the creator of Malgudi. I hope all of you are familiar with Malgudi days. And he was born in Madras on 10th October 1906. He did schooling in Madras and he graduated from Maharaja's College in Mysore. R.K. Narayan's full name is Rashipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayana Swamy. He was an Indian writer known for his work set in fictional South Indian town of Malgudi. He was a leader author of early Indian literature in English along with Mulkraj Anand and Raja Rao. His career spans over 6 decades. Then he has written 60 novels, 200 short stories, essays, and interpretation of Indian epics, travelogues, and autobiography, My Days. His autobiography is My Days. Don't forget, it is an important question for your exam. He has received many awards. His novel The Guide won him the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1958. He was honored with Padma Bhushan in 1964 and Padma Vibhushan in 2000. He also won the A.C. Benson Medal by the Royal Society of Literature and was made honorary member of the American Academy and Institute of Arts and Letters. He got honorary doctorates by the University of Mysore, University of Delhi, and the University of Leeds. He died on 13 May 2001 at the age of 94. Then, what is special about Narayan's novels? Narayan's novels are like a box of Indian sweets. A highly colored container conceals a range of delectable treats. While telling about Indian sweets, what comes to your mind? The sweets that packed for Diwali. It is available in almost all the bakeries in Kerala, right? It is in different colors. It is in a container as well. Then all are different in a subtle way. Eating one will make you eat more, right? Yes. Narayan writes with grace and humor about Malgudi and the lives of the people there. His style is direct and very simple. That's why only we people are more familiar with him and we are ready to read him. Here we have a story. Mars in the Seventh House is taken from his autobiography, My Days. In this, he talks about his marriage to Rajam amidst to so many problems. There was a big astrological hurdle, he did not have sufficient money for a comfortable living, and he was struggling as a writer. He says how, after being rejected by many publishers, his book was accepted for publication by Hamish Hamilton of London because of the influence of Graham Greene, who remained Narayan's lifelong friend. After the first publication, and his next two books, The Bachelor of Arts and The Dark Room, were also published by Nelson and Macmillan, respectively, in the same way. That means it also by the influence of Graham Greene. Okay, then we are going to begin the chapter. Mars in the Seventh House. Sighing over a pretty face and form seen on a balcony or from across the street or in a crowd longing for love in a social condition in which, at least in those days, boys and girls were segregated and one never spoke to anyone but a sister, I had to pass through a phase of impossible love sickness. In this sentence, Narayan says that he was in search of love. Perhaps the great quantity of fiction I read prepared my mind to fall in love with all and sundry, all one sided, of course. Any girl who lifted her eyes and seemed to notice me became at once my sweetheart, till someone else looked her place. Thus, I had become devoted to a girl in a green sari with a pale oval face passing down our street when we were living at Bojanna Lines. She lived in the next street, the next in law of an engineer, and I would have missed anything in the day rather than miss glimpse of her. Sometimes I followed her quietly like a slave until she searched her gate and disappeared into her house without bestowing a single glance in my direction. I longed for some engineering business that might warrant a visit to her brother in law and then gradual development of an acquaintance, the relationship maturing until I could freely propose to her a La Victoria Crossed Marine Corelli. I was obsessed with her night and day, and I had no doubt that she would receive the impact of my thoughts, as Marie Corelli had taught me to believe that true love recognized no boundaries or barriers. What we have seen in the first paragraph is that R.K. Narayanan was born in an Orthodox Brahmin family. He grew up in a society where the girls and boys were not allowed to mingle each other. When he became a young man, he began to search for a lover who will match him. But he never could talk to any girl in the society. He found the girls unapproachable. He could watch them among the crowd, in the balcony, on the opposite side of the road, etc., but never could talk with them. But his reading habit made him fall in love with girls. A single look of a beautiful girl made him fall in love with her, and she made him awaken for so many nights. But on seeing another one, his love was also transferred to the other one. At a time, he fell in love with girl in green sari who had an oval face. He used to eagerly wait for her and never missed her sight. He found chances to meet and talk to her. Once he proposed her, but his love for her disappeared very soon when he could not meet her for some days. Let's see then what happened. I lost sight of this girl suddenly, but found another one a little farther off, standing on the terrace of her home drying her hair. I noticed her at first on my way to the college, then looked for her constantly on the way to and from. Sure enough, she would be there, a squat, lumpy girl, but I loved her none the less. I think she was a flirt in her own way, ogling at every passerby, not necessarily only me. I lost interest in her soon and bestowed it on the another girl going to Maharani's college who used to give me a smile and pass on. All this love for someone was necessarily one sided and unspoken, but it made no difference. It gave me a feeling of enrichment and purpose. Among an inner circle of friends, we always discussed girls and indulged in lewd jokes and enjoyed it all immensely. The blind urge to love went to fantastic length. I even fell in love with a lady doctor who had come to attend my mother because she spoke a few words to me whenever I greeted her. She was a British lady, well past middle age, stout, and married. But I saw great possibilities in her and read a significance in every glance. Love, especially one sided, can know no bounds physical, racial, of age, or distance. My most impossible infatuation was for a pen friend I had in England. We exchanged letters every week. She sent me her photograph and I sent her mine. I kept her photo in my breast pocket and hoped she did likewise with mine 5,000 miles away. Even if even if I wished to reach her, it would mean a piano voyage of 4 weeks. I wrote impassioned love letters which she rejected outright. She wrote back impersonal letters describing a holiday in Brighton or her latest collection of stamps. Although she protested against the tone of my letters, she never stopped writing, and that seemed to me a hopeful sign. I continued to send her my unmitigated love in every letter and treasured her cold, impersonal replies and the scent of her stationery for years until I was married when I threw them over the wall. His love for the first girl has disappeared, and he found a stout girl who was drying her hair on the terrace. She too could not keep his interest for a long time because a student of Maharani's college had stolen his attention from him with a single smile. Now he is following a girl from Maharani's college. The last one in the serial love stories of R.K. Narayanan was an English girl. They used to exchange letters and photographs. He wrote letters filled with his love and feelings for her, but he got the replies which never spoke about love. He continued writing letters until his marriage was fixed. Then he threw the letters and the photographs into the well. And the last friend was or girlfriend was an English girl. I hope this much is enough for today. We have gone through who is R.K. Narayanan, his important works, and his autobiography, My Days. Here we have a chapter, Mars in the Seventh House, is from his autobiography, My Days. It tells the story about his marriage to Rajam. During that period, he has faced so many astrological hurdles and his hardships to find a girl. In the first paragraph, we have seen that he was longing for love, so he was going in search of girls. He finds so many girls, he fell in love with them, but that love doesn't stay for long. When he finds another girl, he leaves that girl and go behind the new one. Any girl who looked at R.K. Narayanan would immediately become his sweetheart and her place would be taken by another. Finally, he was devoted to a girl in green sari with a pale oval face. He lived in the Bojanna street and she lived in the next street. She was a sister-in-law of an engineer, so he made it a point to see her every day. He walked behind her. She would not even look at him. Finally, he proposed to her. Then what happened? Nothing. He lost his interest in that girl. He lost her sight and he found another one. She was drying her hair on her terrace. Then he was behind that girl for some time. After that, her place also replaced by a girl from Maharani's college. She often smiled at him. That love was one-sided and unspoken. It was the habit of R.K. Narayanan and his friends to talk about sex-related remarks when they joined together. Then he fell in love with a doctor who is going to treat his mother. She was a British lady. She passed middle age. She was stout and married. As per him, love knows no bounds, physical, racial, age or distance. Then he had a foolish love for a pen friend in English. They exchanged letters every week. They also exchanged their photographs. He wrote letters in love, but the letters he got back was simply describing her holidays or something like that. He kept her letters till he got married. Thank you for watching me. Thank you.